It takes the whole team, it takes every single person on the whole team on a wedding day, all these stepping stones to where just like a good book or a good movie or a good song, it has this energy contour that builds and builds and builds. I want the couple to say, man, that was so epic, that was so special, and that was so us. Gosh, I still remember when I first started, I was so afraid, just so afraid to like launch because I didn't want to be rejected and I didn't want my favorite thing, the thing that I feel like I'm best at, to offer to the whole world. I was afraid for that to fail. I'm just so grateful, like what a blessing that all of us get to create music, our favorite thing, and create beautiful, unforgettable experiences for everyone.
Okay, I am joined with music work mentor, multi-six-figure music work mentor, Tyler Varnell here. Tyler, thanks so much for jumping on. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Excited to chat through things today.
Absolutely. I'm excited too, because today we decided to do something really chill, but I know it's going to be super fun and valuable for all audiences. And we're going to go behind the scenes on some of your incredible highlights from last year. So let's dig in. I'm going to pop up one of those really cool reels that you posted on Instagram that completely went crazy, and everyone's going to see why as soon as I get it live here. 1 second.
Sounds good. Going behind the scenes. All right. Gotta come up on the chair,
Yeah, always gotta do the chair move. Classic.
That's the couple right in the front there. He didn't wear the green hat the whole time.
A lit up or LED green hat always makes the party more fun.
This is the high note I was envisioning the whole time.
It nailed. Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that was I was in Cabo San Lucas in Mexico.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was awesome. Really fun wedding. This was one of my very favorite couples I've like ever worked with. They're just so awesome, like extremely kind, extremely thoughtful. Yeah, we're open to my ideas, and I try to be very gentle with the ideas that I suggest. But sometimes I say, "Hey, I know this about you. I know this about you. You've shared this. You've shared this. What do you think of this?" And they're like, "Yes, yes, let's do that." And so one thing I've tried to do is not all of my couples, but a lot of my couples, like at some point want like a big kind of EDM saxophone set.
Right.
And these guys were no exception. They definitely are EDM people. And so they wanted even more of that. And so one thing I try to do is just create like a few little special surprises for my couple based on what I know about them. They love like all of the early, I'd say like, I don't know, 2016, 2015, like Avicii, David Guetta, Calvin Harris, like all those big kind of throwback house like EDM hits. And so Levels was a big one. They kept talking about Levels. And I was like, Levels is great. That's one of my go-to ones. And I've always wanted to make a remix. I'm going to make a remix just for their wedding. And so I put together, it's more of an edit. It's not my own remix.
Yeah.
I put together an edit of the original and a couple of different, I think 2 other remixes, and then had to time sync them all up and do some stuff in Logic to make this. And yeah, that was the moment that I was like waiting for the whole time. I knew I had to build to that. So I got on the chair, I got down, I jumped around, the whole thing. The branding room were right there, loving it. And I talked to in Cabo, you have to rent everything, right? So you can't really like bring your lighting and your speakers. It's just way too expensive. And so you work with a company. Sometimes that's an okay experience. Fortunately, these guys were super solid. They're like on my list now of top companies that I like to work with when I go to Cabo. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, we talked beforehand about, different songs and different moments and like how to do the lighting and how to make sure we're all queued up. And they were very open, very receptive to my ideas. And so it takes the whole team, it takes every single person on the whole team on a wedding day. And this just turned out perfectly. Like as soon as we hit that high note, they did the strobes right before that. And then we hit the sparklers. I hit the big No, and then all the bass comes in,
Yeah.
and then yeah, everyone just went crazy. And so this was a really successful, really fun, really special night. Yeah, a lot of cool things. So that's a little backstory.
So epic. Yeah, all that preparation, I'm telling you, it all like I'm sure that moment it was like, oh yes, it's all coming together because I knew there must have been a crazy amount of preparation that went into building that moment, but I was curious because it's first of all it's in Cabo. So like when it came to working with the AV team, like were they the ones queuing the different things to make all of the sparklers and strolls go off, or was
Yeah,
that
yeah.
pre-programmed? Did you discuss that with them, or was that in the moment that they decided on that?
So usually using the US, I have my own team, my own lighting technician who's actually right next to me in the booth. And so I'll say, hey, I'm about to transition this, or we're going to go to this kind of genre, or hey, I want to do a full blackout to start off the song. Um, and then slowly bring the lights in. And then like when I come out, like boom, spotlight. So we have code and we talk pretty quick and communicate quickly to
Oh,
like,
sweet.
it's a lighting show, like it's a whole designed lighting show. Um, and so, but when I travel abroad, it would be, uh, yeah, it would be pretty expensive to the client for us to like do all of that. And so we have to kind of trust another company and their expertise, and they do things differently. And so we have to kind of, um, yeah,
A little bit, go with the flow more, but
yeah. And some
absolutely turned
people,
out brilliantly.
you try to buddy up with audio and buddy up with all the visual aspects. So yeah, they were running the cold sparklers, they're running the lighting, and you kind of feel it out because sometimes, I mean, we've all had sound guys that are like, I don't care, I don't want to be here, don't talk to me, and you just kind of warm them up a little bit. And so luckily these guys were like really cool, and he was like, hey, do you want to sound check more? Is this reverb okay? How do you like this? Da, da,
Right.
da. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, dude, you were the guy. And now he's earned my business. Anytime I go back to the Cabo, I'm going to say, hey, couple, because normally couple pays for the AV. I would like to work with these guys. They do a fantastic job. This is the technician that I recommend. Um, and yeah, so it's a win-win. If everyone's nice, everyone's cool, everyone wins, you know?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Communication is so key when you're working with vendors. When you have vendors that can communicate well, it's awesome to build that list because you've been to Cabo now, like, I think I might have seen in one of your Instagram descriptions, like 7, 8 times now or something like that.
Yeah, this one
Yeah.
was, when was this? Spring last year. So this would have been my
Yeah.
last one. So yeah, I think this is 7 or 8. And then I have
Yeah.
8 or 9 is coming up this summer, back in Cabo. Most of them have been in Cabo, or no, this summer's in Todos Santos, which is about an hour or two north of Cabo. Haven't done Cancun yet. I did one in central Mexico. And yeah, I love Mexico. It's great. Kind of going through a crazy time right now, but the
Yeah.
previous years
Yeah.
have been great, no problems. Except
Yeah.
they always try to get you at customs. That's the only thing is they just anytime they see
Oh,
any like tech looking stuff,
equipment.
they want to tax you on everything. And so
Oh, yeah.
I just
That's
budgeted it
tricky.
in, but you know,
Oh man. Yeah, I'm sure the learning curves and the like sometimes like painful lessons you've learned are slowly like making it easier each time you do it. But I'm sure there's so much, and especially you, I know you're so detail oriented and like so into like preparing every last thing. So the first time you did like a destination wedding, like what was that like to prepare for it? Was it
yeah.
just like I'm sure you were thinking so hard about it. Has it become a lot easier after doing it a few times? Or, I mean, I'm sure you still expect the unexpected to some extent, but
Yeah.
I'm curious like how that progress has been for you.
I always overpack, I always bring extra stuff. So I have,
Yeah.
even if they're gonna have a mixer, I will bring, the mixer that I use the most. Um, and then same for like sax microphones. I bring my own sax microphones. I used to bring like my own like handheld microphones. I used to bring more, and I'd bring like XLR cables and stuff.
Now you just rent it, like you
um,
figured out like you can
yeah, I've kind
just
of
get it when
narrowed
you're
down
there.
like,
Yeah.
okay, like there's actually a lot more that they can provide, just like, especially once you know a company, you can trust them more. And it is just so annoying going through the airport and like all of your bags are like
Oh,
49.9 pounds.
I can imagine. I can
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah. That's awesome though. But the first time, like you don't know what you don't know, right? Especially when you're going to a different country. It's like, okay, like you
Yeah.
probably want to be over prepared rather than under prepared. That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely slayed it. Let's dig into the next one. I'm excited to go behind the scenes on this one. This one's also super fun. You know they're into it when.
These guys are so fun.
Yeah.
It's actually 5 hours of dancing. It's
That's intense.
Big night.
Yeah. I'm sure that burned a lot of calories for everyone. That's awesome. It's cool when you have okay, so I gotta give cred to Tyler right now for doing not my personally first DJ gig, but my company's first DJ gig we did a while back, and your masterclass and guidance was so crucial to all of it. We were so lucky. I don't know if I told you this, our first DJ gig, it was like the crowd was like so wild and just ready to dance. That seemed like you had a good crowd there. Was that like just a fun group? Tell us about that. Take us behind the scenes there.
It's funny, you know, like doing so many events, like you always, at least for me, like I always want it. Like I want everyone to have the greatest experience of, you know, their entire lives. Right. And I like, very, very diligent on creating that outcome.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we do a lot of the same things, you know, for different events, and we'll hit these big songs and I'll do these different visual things. I'll climb up on the chairs you saw in the first video. I'll do spin moves. I'll like that one. Jubal is a big saxophone. It's like one of the biggest saxophone DJ tropical house kind of songs. And so the crowd that knows that, they're like, oh, this is the sax song, you know? And so for that one, everything's so visual, right? As musicians, we always think like it has to sound perfect. My intonation has to be like exactly perfect. And yeah, that's great. But the visual component is a lot of times it triggers those big like memory, endorphin, this is the greatest night of my life things of like, I'm seeing everyone jumping up and down with the saxophone guy, or like, like this was really cool. And then the sax guy got up on stage and did this thing, or got up on a chair and did this thing, or like I've gotten on tables before. And like, it's those things where it's like, whoa, this memory is then like planted in my brain. So for this, everyone's kind of looking at me like, hey, this is the big sax song. And so I said, hey, I went like this. I was like, hey, bring it in. So everyone got really close. And I got all the way down. You saw I got on my knees. I was playing the song.
Yeah.
And then everyone starts like slapping the floor. Which, that's only happened a few times.
I loved it.
I figure so the point of that is I have all that in my bag of tricks. You know, I have all of those things ready to go. And as you mentioned, like some crowds, they're just ready. Like, it's automatic. It's like you could really like screw things up and they're still just gonna go crazy. And other, you know, especially for like corporate things, there's other priorities that people have where like at a corporate thing, maybe your boss is there. Maybe you don't want to look foolish in front of your boss. Maybe you're trying to connect with these other companies, you're trying to close some sales. You have all these goals. Your coworkers are around. Right. Maybe you don't want to like, you know, throw down on the dance floor in front of your coworkers. And so usually with weddings, one thing that's beautiful about weddings is like everyone's there for the same purpose of like, we just want to celebrate the heck out of this couple and have a ton of fun. And so there's a lot of things, you know, kind of sociologically that I can do to help gently guide people to that point where they're like, wow, I'm having way more fun than I thought I would. This is crazy. What is going on? Holy smokes. And like, they have that like, wow, this is one of the greatest nights of my life experiences. So there's things I can do to nudge people there, subtly, gently. But yeah, the crowd is a big factor, and the bride and groom are a big factor too. Because if you have a bride and groom that are just on the dance floor and that's where they want to be, then that's where everyone else wants to be. But if they're off, then it's like a birthday party without the birthday boy or the birthday girl. It's like, where they're not even here. So yeah, a lot of variables that are not fully in our control, but a lot that are. So yeah.
I love how you have those tricks up your sleeves that you can just pull out to get the crowd going, because really what you're doing is directing the energy. Like, you're not just there to hit notes, but you're doing the whole experience. And one thing that we realized with DJing is like, you're thinking about so much, especially the first time you're doing it. So once you have a few of those go-to moves that, you know, can get a crowd going, I could see how that could be so useful. Because our second DJ, I was gonna like have a a little chit chat with you about our second DJ gig, because the crowd was not like ready to party as much as the other one. So it was good that we had an easy one for the first one, but the second one, like some of the song requests were like not for all of the crowd. So it's like, you got to like find out how to pull out these tricks. And we're learning that too. But
Yeah.
I love how you do that, like actually with like the gestures and the energy. So
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
That's awesome. Okay.
I mean, there's some tricks or whatever, but it's really like you have to have a big, strong foundation for everybody. You know, like it starts at the
Yeah.
ceremony, you know, and
Right.
if people can't hear the vows, or it's just a little janky of a ceremony and the music's a little bit off and it's too quiet, then
Yeah.
people are a little on edge to start. They
Yeah.
felt like I didn't really get to fully hear or connect with the couple that I care about so much because I just couldn't hear. And so like that's like a very first touch point. And especially if you have live music,
Interesting.
which you guys
Yeah.
specialize in, as people arrive and it's beautiful and it's flowing and it kind of sets the tone, like that's, you know, a touch point number one, and the ceremony is touch point number two. And then a lot of times I'll do like a surprise saxophone thing on their exit at the end of the ceremony. And I'll be wireless roaming around. And so like they're walking down, they do a dip and a kiss, and then I come in on the sax, and then it's like, whoa, and it hits the big part of the song, and boom, there's another one where it's like, oh wow. And so it's all these stepping stones to where just like a good book or a good movie or a good song, it has this energy contour that builds and builds and builds, and then has like, you know, dancing is, you could think of like the climax of the whole story, where it's like, all right, we've been on this beautiful journey, like cocktail hour was bumping, dinner was really special, first dance was really special, the speeches were really special, I could hear all of them well, I'm so connected, I feel so comfortable in my own skin, like I'm a part of this is a big family. All right, I'm ready, I'm comfortable, I'm confident, let's go have so much fun on the dance floor. Like there's so many touch points that lead up to that. So yeah, it's both like, yeah, having some tricks is great, or having some cool mixes that like people always love this 3-song set that I do or whatever as a DJ. And having a bunch of those is great, but it's a foundation thing, building that energy.
Yeah, I love that. So it's just like there's the preparation, but then there's also the observation of perceiving people and making sure that, you know, things are going smoothly. So you're building that energy throughout the entire day so that people can, not feel on edge. That's so key. And that ties into why Tyler, like I lost count, like you keep winning all these awards like California Wedding Day and all this stuff. But this past year, I think you're nominated again, which huge congrats. So cool. But you got on the Lovely list, and I wanted to share screens with this one because this was also super cool thing I just wanted to shout you out for. Can you tell us a little bit about what this is? I know it's a big thing when it comes to being recognized in the industry, but for those who don't know, I'd love to hear how this happened. Like, what is this all about here?
Yeah, so Loverly is a big company. You know, it's similar to like The Knot or Wedding Wire or Brides or any of those publications where they will publish different weddings, sometimes celebrity weddings, but they also publish a lot of like I'll just say regular weddings too, that are beautiful and they love the design. Right. And they also do the Loverly list every year. And that's like the top, I don't know how many in each category, but for entertainment, it was 25 in the whole country. And so I was nominated for this. And then I just received an email and I was like, hey, you've been selected to this year's Loverly list. And I was like, what? And I had to make sure it wasn't like one of, you know, like a spam email or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, sure enough, I'm right there on the article. One of the 25 top performers in the country, which is just crazy. There's bands on there, DJs on there. I'm like a DJ hybrid with saxophone, piano, DJ. And so that was crazy. I have won California Wedding Days, you know, more regional, for LA, for Orange County, and then last year won statewide Best Entertainment, which was crazy. So that combined, that all happened last year, like number one statewide and then top 25 in the country. It's like, holy smokes, like, wow, what is going on? And like, I'm really, you know, as we've, you know, talked a lot, and anyone who's listening on this podcast can maybe tell, I think about this stuff very deeply. Like I kind of obsess over a lot of really minute details that all stack up.
That add up. It's important. Yeah.
It feels very reassuring. Like, hey, like, yeah, your mega OCD-ness is recognized and paying off. So very grateful. I mean, gosh, I still remember when I first started, I was so afraid, just so afraid to like launch because, I didn't want to be rejected, and I didn't want my favorite thing, the thing that I feel like I'm best at, to offer to the whole world. I was afraid for that to fail, and like the best that I have
Yeah.
to offer to not be enough. And so, um, you can hear my kids probably over the background.
It's super cute. I love
Yeah,
it.
and so I'm just so grateful. Like, what a blessing that all of us get to create music, our favorite thing, and create beautiful, unforgettable experiences for everyone all over the world. It's just very special, and I continually very grateful.
Yeah. It's literally the best. Like I can't imagine anything better than like getting to do your favorite thing, music, and being around parties. It was like the same thing that hit me when I was, a teenager and doing like my first wedding. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous, and like I'm getting paid, like, and I'm doing my favorite thing. Like what? It's just like all these things. So that's so cool. I mean, like you're looking around like, whoa, this is crazy. I'm getting these awards. Like you may be surprised, but the rest of us are not. We're just like, of course, it's just a matter of time, Tyler. Like the attention to detail, it's definitely and I know, like in your own local network and vendor network, everyone really loves and appreciates all that you do there. And we get to benefit from all the cool stories and lessons you get to pass on to us. So it's awesome. I know
Yeah,
you're going to keep going up from here.
trying to help everybody along the way. I mean, it's I remember when I first started, I did this bridal show. I don't really do bridal shows anymore, but it was early on, and I reached out to the bridal show and I said, hey, I'd love to have a booth, and I would love to provide a free performance for the fashion show and like to elevate their
Yeah.
experience. Because to me, I was like, this is a win for the bridal show because they get
Yeah.
live entertainment for free for their fashion show, so it makes everything cooler. And that's a win for me because everybody who attends goes to the fashion show, which is right in the middle of the whole thing, and so I'll get a spotlight moment for me, win-win. Um, and there was this DJ who he did like all of the bridal shows, and he kind of emceed the fashion show. He did like a little kind of routine where he would like bring up the moms to dance, which is really funny. And they would, if someone won, they would win whatever. And then he would MC the fashion show. And so I like went to him and I was like, hey, I just need to connect. Like I'm just doing like 2 songs to kick off the fashion show in the beginning, and then I think it's all you. Like, how do I connect in? Whatever. And he's like, oh, sorry, like you can't connect in. And I was like, oh, like, do you have like a mixing board? And he was like, it's like a rack mount, and we don't change any settings on it. And I was like,
Oh
oh,
no.
okay. Well, can I like I have these 2 tracks I'm playing along to, like how can I like email those to you then? And he's like, I don't have internet here. And I was like, all right, I'll put them on a thumb drive. I'll put them on a thumb drive. And so I like put them on a thumb drive, came back, and I was like, there's really no way to like connect in. And as I was walking over, I just kind of like looked at his mixing board thing, and he has open inputs. Yeah, it's a rack mount thing or
Aw.
whatever. And I basically realized this guy is like edging me. He's like sharking me out. And I was like, what the heck? This is so weird. And I just felt so like it was so gross and felt so bad. And so I asked like the another music guy who had a booth there. I was like, hey, have you ever worked with these guys? What's the deal? Da da da. Oh no, it was the band was performing. So it was me, it was
Yeah.
the DJ MC, and there was also a band. And I noticed there were two
Hmm.
sound systems, and I was like, this is
Yeah.
so weird. And so I actually asked, this is what happened. I asked the band guy, I was like, hey, like he can't let me connect in with his thing, but he has open in. What's the deal? And he basically was like, hey man, like he doesn't let anyone plug into his thing. Like he just wants us to be his show. We as a band bring our entire whole sound system and use our speakers. So we literally have 2 speakers next to 2 speakers on the side of the stage. 2 are his, 2 are ours. You can plug into ours. Like we got you, man. And I was like, wow, thank you so much. And so that just really stuck with me of like the difference between these 2 guys. And since then, so many people have been so like welcoming and encouraging, and it's inspired me of like, hey, like there's so much more life and there's so much room for all of us. Um, like it is so awesome to see like fellow musicians like creating amazing experiences and winning and growing and all this stuff. And you can either be like a total dirtbag and not help anyone, or you can support and encourage honestly growth that is going to happen anyways. And that's just the way to go, like this, the sharkiness, the closed offness, that's like, yeah, it's just not cool at all. Thankfully, like our SoCal community is like very, very open. That's like an exception. And so, yeah, I try to share as much as I can and be just totally
Yeah.
open-handed and helping people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are certainly very grateful for it. And, you know, I think that you've really done quite a bit of trailblazing when it comes to being a generous musician, of being able to like help lift other people up. And we always like say, like, you know, rising tide raises all boats, because it's true. And
Yeah.
like we see, you know, I even think back to a lot of musicians still severely undercharged, but, you know, it's becoming less of a less of us being in the Stone Age a little bit, because like we're a little bit more, you know, with it, with these types of conversations, and everyone's getting lifted up because of it. So I want to thank you for that. But yeah, it's like, it's strange, that mentality of just, you know, trying to guard something so hard. Sometimes you just got to like be open to grow and help other people grow so that you can grow too. So love that you have that.
And
attitude.
ultimately, like, big picture, do you as a musician want to see a world filled with successful musicians, or do you want to try to inhibit that growth? Especially nowadays, like we got, you know, robots are pumping out songs, and we're probably gonna have performing robots soon. I think it's happening.
Oh goodness.
Like, do you want to be someone who is like an encourager and a promoter and like pushing, like, you know, this age of live musicians, and then the younger, you know, everyone's younger cousins and whatever, see like, oh yeah, my older cousin or my older brother or my mom and dad or whatever, they did all this cool stuff performing for weddings. You know, that's my lane. It's like, that's what I'm good at. I'm not necessarily in the recording thing or the touring thing, but weddings and events. And so if I can be an encouragement to this generation, which then encourages the next generation, that's the big picture. Like if I lost both my hands and my face or whatever, and I couldn't play any instruments, I would still be trying to push and encourage the same thing, because musicians are special and we need to support them as much as possible.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. And I think it's a good bet too, because I think even like, hopefully we don't have Tesla bots playing violin, but even still, I think that it's going to become more recognized of how important it is my optimistic theory anyways, as more and more things get automated, that coming together and enjoying each other's company and live music bring people together, like these hand skills are going to be that much more important. So I think that's actually a good bet. And yeah, again, like I wouldn't have, for me when I was growing up, doing a one-off wedding with someone and getting paid $100, I thought that was awesome, until I realized like in adulthood $100 isn't enough to live. But even still, I didn't know you could be full-time at this until I saw examples like you and like others, and I'm like, oh, that people like can actually like be full-time in this lane specifically, which I think is super cool, because so many people don't even know that's possible, I feel, or they just think it has to be just like a, you know, random gig that happens every once in a while, rather than something that you can really build into a business. So anyways, I'm excited. Super cool to see. To celebrate, we have some fireworks here. Let's take a look at this next one. Let me go to live. This is a cool one here, Tyler. This is epic. This is another Cabo one there, and there's fireworks. That's such a cool idea. How often do you have fireworks at your events?
Okay, so for this, the fireworks, they actually went off early. Oh
goodness! So you have to like run and like get it going.
So it was like the end of dinner, and we were like about to kick off dancing and stuff, and so we had. This is just a Mexico wedding for you, you know, and so things, you know. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Mexico weddings have been very beautiful and awesome, but it is a little Wild West. And so actually some really high production is going on in Mexico, which is really fun. So yeah, no shade, but sometimes things get a little funny. So we had the planner was right next to me. She was on her phone texting with the fireworks people who were down like on the beach, and they're going to shoot. We were kind of up on a cliff, and so they're going to shoot them up off the beach so that they'd be up kind of above us.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, hey, is everything good? Is photo ready? Is video ready? Is everything ready? Because that's one of your jobs as like the DJMC, is you don't want to just like announce the dad's speech and like photo and video aren't there. The couple's not even there. Sometimes the dad's not even there. Like that's your job. You have to make sure all the things are ready for the moment that's about to happen, right? That's like a really underrated, and planners love it when you're so on it like that, because it just takes they don't have to babysit you. Like, you understand,
Yeah.
hey, we're about to do I've had it happen before where like not every planner is different. This planner was like, hey, we gotta go. Okay, just announce the thing. And I was like, okay, where is the best man? Like, do you have eyes on him? She was like, I don't know, he's probably around. Like, let's just get it going.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna announce him until like we make sure he's here.
Yeah.
And the bride and groom were like, they were nearby, so they were gonna like come over to their sweetheart table. That was fine. But like, you gotta have the first speech giver there. And really, it's a service to the person giving the speech, because, you know, as a best man, you have probably been thinking about this speech your entire life. And
yeah,
we
don't need to add panic.
Oh, crap, I didn't know I'm up. Okay. Like,
yeah.
yeah, like you'll hear people say on the microphone. I remember when I used to work with a lot of other DJs, you would hear the guy on the mic say, well, gosh, I didn't know this was happening yet, is the first thing that they say on the mic. And it's like, oh,
yeah.
So I always like go over to the first person giving the speech and say, hey, we're about to do our speeches. You're up first as the best man. How you feeling? They'd be like, oh yeah, you know. And I was like, oh, you got your notes? Y'all ready? Okay, hold the microphone nice and close. You know, don't drop it down. Have fun, be yourself. You're gonna rock this, man. And then I'll go announce it. But yeah, he was in the bathroom, so we locked down that he was in the bathroom before announcing it, and then made it go. So to tie that back to Mexico, we had to make sure everything was ready. The fireworks were ready, video was ready, and everything. And then basically, like, we were going to invite everyone out to do like a slow dance to fill up the dance floor. And then our first song was going to be the fireworks. And so we're like, all right, maybe let's say text them that we're like a few minutes out. We're almost ready. And then all of a sudden, like, one firework just goes, and I was like, no. Oh gosh, okay. And then another one, and I was like,
this is happening now.
And then everyone's like, oh, fireworks. And then everyone kind of naturally goes to the dance floor area anyways to take pictures and like the fireworks and everything. And so I waited maybe 20 seconds, maybe 25 seconds of like, is it going to stop, or is this happening? And then I asked the planner, like, should we just go for it? And she was like, I guess they're not responding. I guess we're just going for it. So then I start that song, which is It Feels So Close by Calvin Harris. And I run around on saxophone. I get all the way over to like this platform that was kind of above, right, with the fireworks behind it. And I step up there and then come in just in time for the chorus. And that's the video you saw. So yeah, you just gotta
save the day.
You're ready to go. Yeah.
Oh, well, it turned out like it looked like everything went without a hitch. I'm sure everyone enjoyed the experience, even though you were scrambling to put it together. But I do love that approach of always wanting to, like, when you're when things are within your control, making sure that everyone else feels prepared and, you know, encouraging them before the best man speech. That's such a nice touch. I think little things like that go a super long way. So that's super cool. Another thing on top of all the things that you do and the day of, there's like a million hats, but you do piano. And I saw this reel of you doing a super cool lo-fi thing with DJ. And I just want to hear, let's go behind the scenes on this one too, to figure out, or to hear more about it. So let me just play this up.
I don't always wear the sunglasses, but they came out too.
It's a good look. It works. Adds to the vibe. That's so good. Is this something you started playing around with and doing recently, or have you done this? I've just never seen anything like it before.
A few years. So usually like my full day package is I do mostly piano for pre-ceremony and ceremony. And I'll do a surprise saxophone for their exit at the end of the ceremony, right? On the recessional song. Then that flows right into more saxophone roaming during cocktail hour. And then reception and dancing is like the big epic saxophone DJ experience. So I had a couple that was like, hey, we love like your romantic piano covers that you do. But we're wondering if like you'd be interested in exploring, you know, something like a little more vibey. Like we kind of want to do something different where like people arrive and like, whoa, what is this?
Yeah.
because people have arrived to a piano playing. That
Mm-hmm.
is like people arriving to live music is like an elevated thing, um, but they wanted something different, and so they're like, we love. I noticed their playlist was like a lot of like lo-fi, tropical house, that kind of stuff, and I was like, well, you guys want piano for like your entrances. What if I'm
Mm.
on piano, but I do like a DJ piano, like a DJ keys thing? And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, what would that be like? And I was like, well, I saw your lo-fi, like cool stuff. So I'll just kind of improvise along to that. And I'll have to go through and really find songs that like cater to that and would fit. 'Cause not every
Mm-hmm.
song is going to like have the space sonically where
Right.
like piano is going to cut through the right way. And so I went through like, this was in Phoenix. And so we were driving out there and I'd gone through, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours of music already at home. And I was like, okay, I want to go through more music on the drive. So we listened to like 4 more hours on this 6 hour drive out to Phoenix to really like dial in my set, which was then the next day. And yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of like curated it and put it together. And it was super vibey. So that was the first one, I think a few years ago. And so now I have couples choose. Do you want like the romantic, timeless, grand piano vibe as guests arrive, or do you want this kind of like bumping, lo-fi,
Mm-hmm.
tropical house thing? And so,
Right.
yeah, um, yeah, it's fun. And I kind of like DJ as we go on the laptop, and then I play. And for this one, I put on the sunglasses, kind of fit the vibe. Yeah, but all of that goes to just like all that goes to just listening to your client, right? And so, as much as I always tell my couples, like, as much as you allow me to get to know you and your preferences and your music and your family and your priorities, what is the most? I always ask, what is the most? What is most important to you guys? What are the big
Mm.
goals? And that helps me
Yeah.
understand. Like for these guys, they said we want things to be different. Like we want this a
Mm-hmm.
different vibe, and so that
Yeah.
kind of led to this of like looking at their music, what they expressed were their priorities, and then it created a really cool service that now I'm able to market to other people. And so I just think listening to your couple and asking questions, and trying to extract out of them like who they are and what's your
Mm-hmm.
DNA, so that my goal at the end of the day is I want the couple to say, man, that was so epic. That was so special. And that was so us. Like that just felt like our DNA was like in everything, all of the music, all of the design, all of everything.
Mm.
Because yeah, a lot of us musicians and DJs, we can show up and make a fun party.
Mm-hmm.
But a really special and unique challenge that we get to tackle is how do we make this absolutely you? Take all the songs, all the things, all the goals, and do it up and create an experience. It's just for them. So that's what I get excited about.
I love that. I'm so happy that you said that key part about listening. And sometimes, especially non-music people, they don't have the language for it. Like sometimes people will say to us, "Is like, can you do this song but make it more classical?" It's like, hey, what does that mean? But like you get to understand what they mean by that as you talk to them more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I love how you heard what they were saying, and maybe they didn't know what they wanted exactly, but you were able to pull the pieces together to give them something that now other people can enjoy.
yeah,
So yeah, I think that's so key, listening to people, because yeah, like and I guess there is a balance with like having crowd pleasers that are going to get everyone going, but most importantly making it something that like the people who are paying you, the clients, are
yeah,
really going to feel like is uniquely them. I think that's such an important touch to think about. So
yeah.
yeah, so
The
cool.
clients can really help you like build your song list too, because I remember for a while I was just doing like the top 40 oldies, all that stuff, and then I had a couple that like they wanted to go like hard on the EDM stuff, and I was still I knew like some of the big ones, but it was kind of a normal
Yeah.
genre for me, and they sent
Yeah.
me like a few playlists, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is great, and that got me more into like Tiesto and then John Summit and all that stuff, and now that's like kind of my calling card is like all that EDM hype sax DJ stuff. So
Yeah.
really like listening to your client and not being too cool and like I'm the expert, I know what to play, but being that
Hmm.
openness can really serve you well. Serve you well and serve them well. Again, another win-win.
Yeah. I love it. And that's why when we started, and what I often recommend, even though it comes with a cost, is including song requests if you're starting, because you need to build up your repertoire anyways. So what better things to build it with than what your people who are paying you are asking for. So we've slowly pared that back, just because making string quartet arrangements is expensive, but our library is huge at this point. So, but we still like include one free custom request, and we'll arrange it as part of the package, because yeah, it's just like, we want to know what people want to hear, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's like a weird thing that no one else will ask for again, but for the most part, we love like being able to learn new things and, you know, be able to offer that to other people too. So yeah, I love that. Oh, sorry, I accidentally clicked something here. Going back to the vibes. Just have a soundtrack going on for the whole episode. This has been so fun, Tyler. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat here and have a little review of some of your highlights recently. Again, we're continuing to cheer you on all the awesome things you're doing, and are so appreciative of all the help and wisdom that you pass down to the rest of us. So thank you so much for all of that.
Yeah, I hope this has been helpful for anyone watching, and you guys can glean some cool stuff to do for your couples. So
of course. Yeah, no, there's so much in here. And if anyone is a musician out there and listening, and you want to chill in a cool community with mentors like Tyler and level up together, there's going to be a link below to our community below. Also, if you're looking for music, and you know who to call, okay? All Tyler's information is below there too, so be sure to check him out, give him a follow. But again, thanks so much for being here, Tyler. Looking forward to doing it again.
Sounds good. Thanks, Allison.